Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to Botanica. So we were studying about the xerophytes. We have discussed the different aspects of the xerophytes, the introduction of the xerophytes, in which type of the habitats they are growing, and in the last lecture we have discussed the three different types of xerophytes, that either they are drought evading plants, either they are drought resisting or drought escaping plants. So this classification is the criterion of this classification of the xerophytes is based upon either the resistance or their strategy towards the drought. Either they are escaping the drought by making the seeds and fruits which are resistant to the drought water scarcity, or they are evading the drought, or they are making certain adaptation which make them able to resist the drought. So now in the today's lecture we are going to discuss about the different types of adaptations of the xerophytes. And what are the adaptations? First of all, we have discussed it previously, and now it is a quick recap. Any feature of an organism or its part which enable it to exist under conditions of its habitat is called the adaptation. So as far as the adaptations are concerned, these adaptations are according to the environmental conditions or according to the habitat. For example, it may be any feature, any feature. It may be of the feature may be of the morphological, it may be a physiological, it may be biochemical, it may be anatomical. So any kind of feature it may be. So adaptation is the any kind of feature, any kind of characteristic, any kind of trait of an organism, or it may be restricted to a part of an organism. For example, we can say that adaptation may be restricted to a certain organs of the organism. So it may not be spread all over, or it may not spread all over the body of the organism. So that adaptation may be the whole organism, or we can say that it may be of the part of the organs of the organism. But this particular which make it enable to exist under the condition of or extreme condition of its habitat. Either it is growing in the water lead environment, like in those plants which are growing in the water environment, they are the hydrophytes, or they are the mesophytes, or they are the xerophytes, or those plants which are occurring in a mountainous regions, or in the other conditions as well. So the completion of the life cycle of an organism or stabilization of a community results through a series of adaptation which have survival value. So as far as the adaptations are concerned, they are very important, or they are indispensable to the survival of an plant. So as far as the plants are concerned, we have discussed previously that they are enjoying the sessile mode of life. They do not enjoy the motile mode of life. So that's why they have to adapt themselves according to the environment by living or by placing themselves in the area where they are living. So as far as the adaptations are concerned, either those adaptation may be these adaptation may be classified according to their nature. Either they may be morphological, like that, which are the external adaptations, or those adaptation may be the anatomical, which are the internal modification, or those may be physiological adaptation. So mainly there are the three types of adaptations which are based upon their location, that are their nature, that may be either morphological, either physiological, or anatomical. So first of all, we are going to discuss the external morphology of the xerophytes. And in the external morphology of the xerophytes, we are going to discuss the adaptations found in the roots. So as far as the xerophytes are concerned, xerophytes have well developed root system which may be profusely branched. So the first adaptation which is found in the xerophytes, that is present in the roots. As we have classified our these plants on the basis of the water availability, and we have seen that xerophytes are the plants which are present in the water scarce environment or in the drought condition. So the plants which are already growing in the area where the water is not available in the sufficient amount, so they have to develop extensive root system, so that there may be a very much developed root system. It can spread well over the area, and it can absorb water, as much water as it can. So that's why Xerophytes have well developed root system and which is profusely branched, which is extensively branched. So as there are very many branches, so those branches again in turn give the branches and it will give a more extensive root system. So it is extensive and much more elaborate than the shoot system. So when you can comparing the root and the shoot system of the xerophytes, there is a big difference between the root and the shoot system. As far as the shoot system is concerned, it is very much or very less elaborative, very less extensive, but the shoot system is very much developed. So many desert plants develop superficial root system where the supply of water is restricted to the surface layer of the earth. In various desert plants which are growing in the desert environment, when their rainfall occurs and water is available at the surface of the soil, so what these plants do, they quickly absorb and their root system is present on the surface or near to the surface of the soil. So what they do, they quickly absorb the water which is available after the rain. So as far as their root system is concerned, it is superficial, it is not very much developed in certain organisms. We are not talking about all the plants which are growing in the desert. We are saying about some plants which are present in the desert and their root system is superficially developed. It is present on the surface and they absorb as much water as they can when there is a rainfall. As the water will percolate down, so they have to absorb that water very quickly. So the root of perennial xerophytes grow very deep. So as we have and I have said that we are not talking about all the desert plants, but there are some plants which are perennial xerophytes. They are growing for the years. So they are perennial, they are not ephemeral, they are not seasonal. So they have to grow their roots very deep in the earth and reach the layers where water is available. So both extremes are present. There are certain plants which are the ephemerals or they are the seasonal. So their roots are superficial. They are growing 1 inch or 2 inch below the surface of the soil. So what they do, when there is a rainfall, the water is available at the surface, they quickly absorb that water. As their life cycle is very much short, basically either it is of 1 month or 1 month and 10 to 15 days. So we can say that 1.5 month life cycle. So their life cycle is restricted to the rainy season. So whenever there is a rainfall, they absorb water and quickly they complete their life cycle and make the resistant seeds and fruits, and they overcome the drought condition by making those resistant structures. But there are certain other plants which are the perennial and they have to grow and they have to resist the drought condition and they have to overcome the drought condition in the growing season, in the life cycle. So what they do, they make a very deep and extensive root system which goes or which make it supply to the water which is available in the very low surfaces and it can absorb the water. So as far as the root hair is concerned, root hairs are very densely developed near the growing tips of the rootlets, as there will be as the root hair and the water absorption are directly proportional to each other. The more the root hairs, the more will be the water absorption. As you can see, here is the condition. So you can see there is a cactus has a shallow root. The roots are very, we can say that these roots are near to the surface of the soil. As you can see here, we have the surface of the soil and roots are restricted to the surface of the soil. So what it do? So whenever there is a rainfall, it has to absorb the water. So these shrubs have a widespread root system. As you can see here is a extensive branching in the shrub, which is also growing in the also growing in the desert condition. So it has also, so and the third plant, the shrub has a deep root system, and in the Welwitschia plant water catches in its leaves. So there is another adaptation. So instead of capturing the water by the root system, they have to absorb water by their leaves which are present above the surface, because and the desert water directly or very rapidly percolates down and it is not available to the plants. So what these plants do, they directly absorb water by using their leaves. So as you can see, here are the diversity of the systems diversity of the adaptations according to the conditions of the water, according to the condition of the plant. So whenever, so as these plants have different types of life cycle, different time period of their life cycle, in other cases we can say that a different time of the year when they are growing in the desert, and as well as their either they are herbs or shrubs or they are trees according to their nature. So they have different types of root system and different types of adaptations according to their condition. So next, the stem, we can say that the adaptation in the stem. Some of the important characteristics of xerophytic stems we have given. Stem of some xerophytes become very hard and woody. It may be either aerial or subterranean. So as far as the stem adaptations are concerned, those stem adaptations are also found in the stem, because stem is the part of the shoot system, and the adaptations should be there so as to decrease the water loss. So it is very hard and woody so as to reduce the water loss, and it may be either aerial, so it may be either above the soil or it may be below the soil. So both the conditions are present. So the second thing, or the second adaptation, they are covered with the thick coating of wax and silica as in aloe vera, and some may be covered with the dense hair as in Calotropis. So these are the very basic and very major adaptations which are present in the most of the stem of the which are growing in the desert environment. They are covered with the thick coating of wax and silica. And why they are coated with the wax and silica? Because the temperature is very high in the desert and the water loss is very rapid. So water can also be lost through the stem. So as their stems are coated with the wax and silicas, so they reduce the water loss, and also there are hairs. So these hairs also protect them from harsh temperature, extreme temperature, and also they also reduce the water loss. In some xerophyte stem may be modified into thorns, Doryanta and Olex. So there are some plants which are also modifying their stem according to the condition, and they are making the thorns. So in stem succulents, main stem itself become bulbous and fleshy, and it seems as if leaf in these plants are arising directly from the top of the roots. There are certain plants, as it is very detailed amount of their adaptations. So there are certain plants we can say that in short term or in definition we can say that there are some plants in which the stems are modified like a leaves. So we can say that they are actually the stem, but their structures are like the leaves, so as to increase the surface area and increase the volume, and so that they can store as much water as they can. So as you can see there in the aloe veras, there is a thick cuticle which is present on the we can say that on the surrounding of the leaf. In the next condition we have thorns which are present here on the surfaces of the leaves, and thorns and in the cactus as well, which are modified form, and they reduce also the water loss. And in third condition we can say that there is the last statement which is describing this particular plant, as it has this is actually the stem. You can see here these are the stem which is like the leaf, and it is storing the water as much as it can, and the leaves are directly arising from the stem. So these are the different types of adaptation. So stem in some extreme xerophytes are modified into leaf-like flattened green and fleshy structure which are termed as phylloclades. So there are certain other conditions, there are the phylloclades and cladodes which are like the stem, but they are actually behaving like a leaves. So the third adaptation is in the leaves. So in some leaves, xerophyte, the leaves if present are greatly caducous. So what is the caducous? Caducous is the leaf, so whenever it fall off very quickly. For example, we can say that the leaves are either caducous, deciduous or persistent. Caducous are the leaves which fall off when they are formed. So they are not persistent leaves, so they are not present throughout the life cycle. They fall off early in the season. So when the leaves fall off in the early, so the water loss can be reduced. But in the majority of the plants, leaves are generally reduced to scale. So either the leaves are fall off very quickly, or they are modified, or they are reduced in the form of a scale. So these are the species in the Ruscus and Asparagus, they are reduced. Some evergreen xerophytes have needle shaped leaves like in the Pinus, And in leaf succulent plant, the leaves swell remarkably and become very fleshy by storing the water, excess amount of water, and that water can be used. So as far as the examples of this are concerned, there are the aloe veras you can see, and you have seen the aloe veras in which the stem and the leaves are absorbing and storing very much and excess amount of water, and they are succulent. So in the summary, we can say that in the leaves, either those leaves are caducous, they fall off very quickly, or they are reduced in the form of a scales, or those may be the needle shaped leaves so as to reduce the water loss, and in other words, in the third category, we can say that they are leaf succulent. So what are the succulents? So those plants which are storing the water in excess amount. So you can see, as the crux of the matter of this discussion is that all the adaptations are either to reduce the water loss, or these adaptation is to absorb water, as much water as they can, as we have seen in the root system, or those adaptation is to store as much water as they can. So as far as the xerophytes are concerned, they are facing the problem of drought. So these all the adaptations are to met or to adapt accordingly to the condition, and these adaptations are to met either to reduce water loss, or to store excess water, or to absorb as much water as they can. So as you can see, here are the phylloclades, and flowers are directly present. So these are the leaf blade, and this is the leaf, but this is actually the stem, but you can see this is the leaf like structure, but the reduced are absent, and leaves leaving a scar on abscission. Here is the simple leaf is here, but this is, you can see, it looks like a leaf, but it is not the leaf. The fruit, flowers and fruits are present directly on the stem. So here is the pinus leaves which are present here. These are the needle like, and they also reduce the water loss. As far as the pinus is concerned, pinus is present at very much elevated conditions, and where the temperature is very low. But there, as the conditions are rocky condition, mountainous condition, and water is also scarce there, so that's why we are calling it the desert or the drought condition. And here is the aloe vera, the third category, where these are the leaves, and they are storing excess amount of water, and they are making the leaf succulent.